Hi everybody, welcome to Education for Next Generation. This is D. Mallikarjun Rao, physics teacher. Today we are going to discuss about the most important organism in our body, that is human eye. As we know that eye is most important part in our body, it is essential for us to know the details of human eye and how it functions, and particularly what is the use of this eye lens in the human eye. Particularly in this session, particularly in physics, in this session we are going to discuss about the structure of the human eye, the functioning of different parts of the human eye, and the three types of refractive defects of vision and how they can be rectified. These are the main parts, main topics of this lesson. Let us come to the human eye, its structure and its working. Let us come to the structure part first. The human eye is in the shape of a sphere. It is approximately in the shape of a sphere, and its radius, diameter will be nearly 2.3 to 2.4 centimeters. That varies person to person a little, and this is the outlook cross section of the human eye. It is approximately spherical in shape. The front portion of the human eye, you can see clearly, the front portion of the human eye which is bulged out is called cornea. The front portion of the eye which is bulged out is called cornea, and cornea is a transparent membrane. Transparent membrane. Transparent means it allows the light rays to pass through, and it is bulged out. Because of its bulged out shape, it can accommodate a large number of light rays to enter into the eye. That is the main purpose of the cornea. Cornea increases the accommodation of the eye. It allows a large number of light rays to enter into the eye. The second part is, behind the cornea there is a colored opaque diaphragm. This is a colored opaque diaphragm with a small open at its center. This colored opaque diaphragm is called iris, and the small open at its center is called pupil. Together, iris and pupil system regulates the intensity of light entering into the eye. Suppose if the outside there is high intensity of light and high intensified light rays tries to enter into the eye, this iris expands, the size of the pupil will decrease, and requisite amount of light only can enter into the eye. If outside that light intensity is very low, the iris contracts, the size of the pupil will increase, and whatever the light intensity outside, that again enters into the eye through the pupil. So basically the purpose of iris is to regulate the intensity of light that is entering into the eye. It can decrease the intensity of light and it can increase the intensity of light also. The other part is, the gap between iris pupil system and cornea is filled with a transparent jelly-like material. A transparent jelly-like material, and this material is called aqueous humor. Aqueous humor. So aqueous humor is present between cornea and iris pupil system. This is aqueous humor. Aqueous humor along with cornea, aqueous humor along with cornea behaves as a convex lens, and there are two uses with this. First one is, along with cornea it acts as a convex lens, and most of the convergence of light takes place outside the eye only. That means in the cornea and aqueous humor most of the convergence takes place. The light rays coming from this side, this side, this side, all directions, they will incident on cornea, and exactly they will be channelized through the small open called pupil. And other use of this aqueous humor is, aqueous humor keeps your eye always wet. When any dust particle fall in your eye, any small dust particle fall in your eye, the aqueous humor immediately releases water, and that water will clean the eye and dust particle will go off. So, it keeps eye wet and it cleans the eye whenever a dust particle fall in the eye. So, that is the purpose of the aqueous humor. And behind the iris pupil system there is a muscular lens which is in the shape of convex, and this muscular fibrous lens which is in the shape of convex is called eye lens. It is called as eye lens. The main purpose of this eye lens is whatever may be the position of the object in front of the eye, that will be exactly focused on retina. That will be exactly focused on retina. So, that is the purpose of the eye lens. So, the main use of eye lens is it focus the object exactly on retina. To focus the object on retina, eye lens is useful. Next part is around the eye lens there are some muscles called ciliary muscles. They are called as ciliary muscles, and these ciliary muscles will hold the eye lens in a fixed and firm position, and these ciliary muscles can increase and decrease the focal length of the eye lens also. So, there are two uses with the ciliary muscles. They can hold the eye lens in a firm position and they can increase and decrease the focal length of the eye lens, that is the ciliary muscles. And back to the eyeball, there is a screen like arrangement, and this is called retina. It is also called as retinal screen. The main use of this retinal screen is it will act as a screen and it will hold the image of the object kept in front of the eye. Whatever the object kept in front of the eye, its image will be focused exactly on retina. So, retina behaves like a screen and it is useful to hold the image of the object that is placed in front of the eye. And next, and the gap between eye lens and retina is filled with another transparent jelly like material that is called as vitreous humor. This vitreous humor is a filling. If vitreous humor is not there, the shape of the eyeball won't be in the shape of a sphere. It is just like a filling. And let us come to the retina. Retina, as we discussed already, it acts like a screen to hold the image of the object placed in front of the eyeball, and on the surface of retina there are two different types of cells, and they are called as rods and cones. Cone is a cell which is in the shape of a cone. Rod is a cell which is in the shape of cylinder. So, there are two optically sensitive cells on surface of retina. The number is very high. There are lakhs of rod cells and there are lakhs of cone cells, but there are two types, rod cells and cone cells. Cone cells shape is in the shape, they are in the shape of cone, rod cells are in the shape of a cylinder. And from each and every cell, one nerve will start, and those nerves are called as optic nerves. What they are called as optic nerves. From rods and cones, a nerve will start and move towards the brain, and they are called as optic nerves. These are all the basic parts, fundamental parts of the human eye. What are those? First is cornea and iris pupil system, aqueous humor, eye lens, ciliary muscles, retina, vitreous humor, cones and rods, and optical nerves. These are all the main parts of the human eye. Then we will be discussing about the functioning of the human eye. That means, with the help of the eye, how can we see the objects that are placed in front of the eye? See the working or functioning of the eye lens, human eye. So, when an object is placed in front of eye, the light rays coming from that particular object first passes through the cornea and aqueous humor. This cornea, aqueous humor together acts as a convex lens, and they converges the light rays coming from the object exactly into the pupil, and through the pupil the light rays will fall on eye lens. Eye lens will focus, because being a convex lens, it focus the light rays coming from the object exactly on retina. Here the most important thing is, if the object is close to the eye, then the focal length of the eye lens should be less to focus the image exactly on retina. If the object is far off from the eye, then the focal length of the eye lens should increase to focus the image exactly on retina. So, if eye lens has a fixed focal length, it cannot focus images of different objects exactly on retina. So that eye lens must be flexible, and there should be an arrangement to increase and decrease the focal length of the eye lens, and that activity is done by ciliary muscles. To catch hold the eye lens, there are some muscles called as ciliary muscles. They will catch hold the eye lens in a firm position. Along with that, they will increase and decrease the focal length of the eye lens. Suppose if the ciliary muscles are contracted, the eye lens becomes thin and the focal length will increase, and if the ciliary muscles are expanded, the eye lens will be contracted, the focal length will be decreased. So, by expanding and contracting, the ciliary muscles can increase and decrease the focal length of the eye lens, so that the eye lens can exactly focus the image of the object on retina. Once the image is formed on retina, as we discussed earlier, there are two types of optically sensitive cells on retina. One is the cone, second type is the rods. Now, cone cells are responsible for color of the light. We can identify different colors with the help of the cone cells, and rod cells are responsible for intensity of light. We can distinguish the bright light and dim light with the help of the rod cells. So, basically cones and rods are optically sensitive cells, and they will convert the optical signals into electrical signals. The electrical signals send to brain with the help of the optical nerves, and when this optical nerves gives the electrical signals to the brain will interpret the object. So, this is the mechanism involved in the functioning of the human eye. The main thing you have to keep in the mind is, maximum convergence of the light takes place at cornea, and eye lens will focus the objects that are kept at different distances in front of the eye exactly on retina. This property of eye lens is called as power of accommodation. So, once the image is formed on retina, this rods and cones cells turns the optical signals into electrical signals, and those electrical signals are sent to brain with the help of optic nerves, and brain will interpret the object, or we can see the object. So, this is the functioning of the human eye. Now, we will discuss about the defects of vision. Commonly, there are three common defects of vision.